I wanted to talk about the future of layer 2s. You talked about them being really helpful for gaming, and obviously they are. But comes this time where Ethereum 2.0 will eventually be finished in 2 or 3 years. And obviously, I don't think it can ever have zero gas fees, or at least they could be hidden in some way. But if you think Ethereum 2.0 does exist one day and it costs less than a cent to do a transaction and things like that, Immutable obviously still has a bit more of a place since it's gasless. But there are certainly some downfalls with it as well. For example, taking time to take money out of Immutable and things like that. So where do you see Layer 2 solutions fitting in as Ethereum upgrades and continues to improve?
I love that. Yeah, there's a few ways to look at this, actually. And it's on the game perspective and then on the actual protocol platform perspective, right? For the games, what we know is that we want to have as little friction as possible for gamers. What does that mean? It means I don't care what chain you're on. It's like all games eventually should be cross-chain to the top quartile of good protocols, right? You're not going to be on every single chain. You probably want to be on the few best ones, mainly Ethereum ones. In that perspective, where does Immutable play? That's an interesting question. Where do layer 2s like Polygon play as well? Those are interesting questions. So my perspective is that it doesn't matter. It is more like, where are the users going to? What are users using? That's the protocols that games will want to have access to. So that's interesting. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get as many gamers playing Immutable games, but then also for the devs to be building on Immutable as soon as possible. Like, that's really important. On the protocol level, it's like so that's a different take on your question. Let's go back to your question of, if 2.0 is done and layer 2 solutions aren't required, do layer 2s even need to exist? That's a great question. I can tell you that probably not. So for Polygon and Immutable and any other layer 2 that does start building on layer 1, that differentiator doesn't really matter. The core question is, what happens if Polygon and Immutable have a great community of devs building on there already? Really, the differentiator isn't technology anymore, right? In Web3 especially, and the ability to fork and to just copy paste underlying technology. It actually isn't about those type of competitive advantages anymore. It's about dev activity. It's about how you've created a culture around your actual underlying protocol. As an investor, that's what I looked at as well. A lot of it was, who has the better chain, who has the best TPS, who has the best decentralization, Solana, AVAX, ETH, layer 1, layer 2s. Actually, what I thought about was, where are the devs going and why are they going there?
Yeah.
And Solana did so well because it is fast technology, but it was because they built sexiness around the actual brand. It's like, when you build on Solana, you feel better about yourself than building on layer 1. And that actually is that's what crypto at its core, as much as it is about technology and business model innovation, it's social innovation as well. It's like, it's us rethinking which technologies we use, who we want to build with, how we want to contribute. And from that perspective, I don't even look at protocols as just technology. It's like, well, who are you? What is the identity of this protocol? What do you want to represent for the community, and how you think about your community as well? And I think that's what we're going through. Will layer 2s exist in 5 years? Maybe not. Maybe Immutable is its own layer 1. Maybe Polygon is its own layer 1, and you don't need to be built on ETH anymore. And so, on a technical perspective, I'm not the right person to ask that question or answer, but it's like, from that perspective, why does it matter? Like, the actual technology, it's just about the community of devs who build. That's a core problem.
Thanks for watching. The full episode of Augment is sponsored by ILLUVIUM. And if you want to watch the entire episode, you can click the link down below. And if you want to continue watching these clips, check it out right here.